Angry guy here, and men have given up on humanity. Men have given up on humanity. I wanted to discuss the subject today. So we're looking at how things are going in Western society, and the simple answer is they are not going good. Men feel ostracized, they feel targeted, they feel intimidated, and they feel essentially, I don't want to use the word defeated, but they feel just essentially done with Western society. And you have men who are basically looking at the passport kings and they're saying that, you know what, a lot of these kings are going overseas thinking they're going to fight in the walls. And I've talked about this before. I've honestly talked about this before. You know, you have a lot of these men who go overseas and they claim that they say that the Filipinas are unicorns, and they're like, I'm going to get me a Filipino unicorn, and they get into a relationship with these Filipinas, and then they act like these Filipinas are goddesses, and they're like, and they are perfect, and you cannot say anything bad about the Filipina. And then many of them end up having their hearts broken years later. And of course, what do? They just rinse and repeat the same thing over again and go and find another one. And I think that there is some legitimate argument to be made that women are women wherever you go. Wherever you go, it's like the culture is different, but the woman is still the same. Let's just go ahead and jump into the video.
Hey everyone, so I'm not even gonna make a intro to today's video, and what today's topic will be about exactly is the fact that Passport Bros is such a fucking cope. And I'm gonna start off this video by saying that I find it both ridiculous and funny that so many guys will come on my channel and comment on my videos telling me that I should go overseas or that I'll find love overseas, or if I go or even move to another country that I'll find love, find a girlfriend, find a wife. And I think that is a load of bullshit and just a flat out absolute cope. I really believe, in my personal opinion, that it's just unrealistic and that it's putting hope and faith in something that just, to me at least, seems too good to be true. And here's the thing, when it comes to Passport Bros, the reason why I say that it is such a cope is because, even for men who have just totally and completely given up on all American women here in the West, or other Western countries for that matter, because, it's obviously not just American women in this Western country that are totally fucked completely 100%, but there are other Western countries too that are pretty damn similar to America. Sure, culturally they're different and they probably have their differences, obviously, and of course, I know that. I'm not an idiot. But when it comes to like westernized culture and system or whatever in society, that pretty much all Western countries, any country that falls under like westernized culture, society, or system, are pretty much all the same for the most part, at least. But even in countries that aren't Western countries, I just feel like when it comes to men who have just totally and completely given up on all American women, or all women even in other Western countries, because I just feel as if men just think American women are bad, and that is false. That is not true. There are bad women, pretty much all over the fucking world. I don't just believe that it's just exclusive to American women, that American women are the only just messed up group of women all over the world. Because again, like I have said and stated before, there are other Western countries with similar Western culture and society and system similar to that of America. But the thing also is that, even when it comes to women in, say, for example, Eastern European countries, maybe they're like slightly better than American women, slightly like a smidgen bit better. And I do believe that. I do believe that Eastern European women are definitely, without a doubt, better than American women, or for that matter, other women from other Western countries. But at the same time, our culture of America, which is, I would say, the most popular, the most mainstream, gets the most attention and focus and all that shit, spreads throughout the world like a fucking disease, like poison. It just keeps spreading and just covering the whole entire damn world in our disease, our poison of this nation of America. And it's literally just like brainwashing and indoctrinating and just messing up women in even other countries who are becoming very deeply brainwashed and indoctrinated and influenced by American culture, American society.
And guys, you know what? I have to agree with this guy on many of his points. You have a lot of these guys who are acting like the Filipinos are unicorns, and you must not speak poorly of the Filipino unicorn. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's great, bro, that you're able to find yourself a wife, but you need to stop saying that these women are better and superior to other women. That's a terrible thing to say. All women are women wherever you go. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's these same men that are the reason why this, like this guy said, this disease from America is going to spread overseas, because the simps are taking the same behavior and the same crap that they allowed to spread throughout Western society. They're taking that disease overseas, because the simps, they all have that disease, and they're bringing it overseas. They're bringing it to the Philippines. They're bringing it to Thailand. They're bringing it to Vietnam. They're bringing it to Colombia. They're bringing it to Brazil. They're bringing it to the Dominican Republic, and they're spreading that disease. And I guarantee you that you're going to begin seeing shifts in these countries where the attitudes of these women will begin to shift in the coming years, and a lot of them will begin to behave like American women because of the simps. Their general expectations are going to begin to increase, and they're going to say, well, you know what, I can get myself a passport king and upgrade my life. So they're going to say, well, listen, I'm the one with the value, and if you want me, you're going to have to work for me. You're going to have to earn me. Now, don't get me wrong, I truly believe there'll still be a lot of opportunity all around the world, and you basically go where you're appreciated, go where you're celebrated. So if women begin having this attitude, real men, real G's are just going to walk away. Men walking away, because a lot of men who are going overseas are not even looking for a woman; they're looking for peace. So if these women have this attitude, then men are going to walk away. And the truth of the matter is that while you have a concentration of men in Western society, the number of men that are going to actually get up and leave the United States and do the work, it's going to be a lot of men, but a lot more men are just going to drop out of society, stay home, play video games, and sleep. It's the honest to goodness truth. Like this guy right here. If you look at some of the comments on his video, you can see what people are saying. For example, this one, ladies and gentlemen, this is what a man who gave up on life looks like. He gave up on humanity. Grave says, materialism and apathy has always been in our Americanized culture since the 1960s. But what has changed is parents in my age group not teaching their children personal responsibility, empathy, and a good work ethic. It's a breakdown of the family structure, which started in the 1980s in our parents' generation. And then my millennial generation finally broke the camel's back with letting our kids do whatever the hell they want. So now what you see is a bunch of entitled 20 and 30-year-olds who act like toddlers and only think about me, me, me. They also have a terrible way of handling money because they've never had to work hard for anything. While our grandparents, who were very good with money because they had to live through real struggles. Well, I will say this. When it comes to the millennials have not had a moment of peace in their entire lives. and that is something to point out. I mean, the millennials have the same buying power as Gen Z because they've basically gone through one crisis after another crisis after another crisis. And a lot of the woke culture that the millennials got mixed up with, where did that come from? It didn't come from Gen X. That stuff started with the boomers. Where did millennials learn this from? Well, being given constant participation trophies, being told to be perfect, that you have to act this way, speak this way. Where do you think woke came from? It came from the boomers. Like they were the ones who helped spread this virus. I mean, the boomers are responsible for this. I hear boomers literally saying that, "Hey, you guys are now 40 years old. Why don't you think it's time to take responsibility for what's happening? Take responsibility for you. Take responsibility for the things that you've done in society." Like you have to really like find that interesting, the way that these people operate. These people are corrupt. These people are extremely corrupt. The boomers were the most corrupt generation, and Gen Z are the most corrupted. And you can clearly see that. And there are people who are trying to have faith in Gen Z. I have no faith in Gen Z because no matter what, Gen Z is literally opting out of responsibility and accountability. This is the truth about them. And then a lot of them don't have the proper skill sets and necessary skill sets to survive in society and contribute to society. They've skipped over it. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to make the effort. I know a guy many years ago. This guy was a psychologist. And it was quite interesting because he told me when he met his wife, he was embarrassed because he did not know how to read. And he said he was a boomer. But he said when he met his wife, he didn't know how to read. And this is something interesting. And now and then fast forward, he's a psychologist. How did that happen? It's because regardless of what happened in his life, he still was able to put in the work. He learned how to read. He got his high school diploma, probably GED. He went on to college. He went to grad school. He got his doctorate, and he became a psychologist. Gen Z and he did this as an adult. Gen Z, this is not going to happen for Gen Z. While there are some decent Gen Zers out there, the vast majority are just terrible. Absolutely terrible. And they're not going to have this type of story because they don't have the capacity. They're not on the level. Many of them graduated from high school during the events of 2020 and after. And a lot of those people didn't have to pass the kind of rigorous exams that many of us did when we were graduating. 20 years ago, I graduated from high school over 20 years ago. And you had to put in the work back then. This group of jokers, you've got to be kidding me. They cannot do anything. They are not on that level. So I mean, guys, the future is really not bright when it comes to a lot of these people. I'm just being honest. It really isn't. And this guy, he does resonate when he's telling a lot of the truth. I don't think that it's as dark as he's making it sound. I think that you can find a decent person overseas, but all women are women. And don't think that just because you went overseas, suddenly her nature changed. All women want money. A lot of these passport bros are acting like these women over in the Philippines are virtuous. This is wrong. You're going over to the Philippines, giving these women a house, cars, you're giving them a very stable life. $3,600 is a lot of money in the Philippines. A lot of women, if they make $3,600 a year, they can live good, pretty comfortable lives. On $3,600, they can rent a place, pay all of their bills and whatever. You go over to the Philippines with your retirement income or $30,000 a year, that's a ton of money. That is a lot of money to them. You are rich to them. And then you're making that each and every single year. You're going to give them lives of comfort. So you're giving these women lives of comfort that they could never, ever imagine in Western society, that they could never, and most women in America could never enjoy. So these women are not virtuous. They know exactly what they have with you. That's the reason why as soon as they meet you, they immediately give it up. And then they start pampering you and treating you like a king because they want to lock you down. They think differently from American women because they're not as entitled. But don't get me wrong. If men in Western society keep this up, keep this behavior up, and keep putting these women on a platform, they're going to begin changing. You're beginning to see it now, where there are some Filipinos who are like demanding the exact same things that women in Western society are demanding. And while many of them are not getting it, eventually some of them will, because the simps are going over there with the same behavior. So I understand exactly where this guy is coming from. And that's why a lot of men who are walking away from Western society, all passport bros are men walking away, but not all what men walking away are passport bros. A lot of men are just basically walking away from Western society. They work just enough to survive and thrive, and that's it. They're not getting wives, they're not getting girlfriends, they're not having children. They are walking away from Western society, and that's it. And they're just doing just enough to survive and thrive on their own. And that's more and more, a lot more men are going to do this, are going to take that approach, than they are going to become passport kings, because that takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of investment, it takes trust. And a lot of men just can't be bothered anymore, because they've lost all faith in humanity, or they just don't want a relationship anymore, because they're just sick of it. The way women carry themselves in America, it's led it has led a lot of men to becoming so disgusted with what they've seen that they begin to lose actual attraction, because it's like this is gross. I don't want anything to do with this. I just can't. And that's really a big consensus. Guys, if you're enjoying the content, help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Men have given up on humanity. Guys, what do you think regarding this? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments, so let's talk about it there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.